It's Thursday night. You know what that means. It's time for Magic and Martinis. Please welcome your host, Scott Wells.
Ho, 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 and welcome to another edition. This is the 29th week, I believe it is, of us having this virtual happy hour. Time for us to share some conversation and imbibe a little adult beverages while we are here and enjoying this virtual happy hour for Magic and Martini Thursdays. Welcome. Thank you all very much for being here. First of all, I got to thank John Custer, the first guy who jumped in here. He's here from week to week. Thank you, John, very much for coming in and joining us. Glad that you're here. And also that if you want, all you have to do is just to, if you're watching this live right now, of course that you are, you're not, as opposed to watching it later when we have it recorded, be sure to share this if you wish, so that way the other people on your stream and your social media can watch this too. So share this event. It's being live streamed then right now on both YouTube and on Facebook. And of course that you can always comment, as Mark Holstein just did right there, all the way from Driftwood, Texas, over there. That hello, Mark. Hello to you and Sue. I missed you guys so much in the real world, and so glad that you're here. And then just from across town over here down in League City, Gene Protus and his lovely wife, Betty. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys being here then as well. We've just got a bunch of stuff. Oh, and Harriet's here too. Thank you, Harriet, from up in Michigan, also up there with where John Custer is then as well. So thanks, Harriet, for joining us and for saying hello then as well. This is great. Thank you guys again for very much for joining us week to week. There are a lot of other things that are going on, and we have a really exciting lineup of a lot of interesting people here then this evening, who are going to give you a few ideas on kids shows and everything. I don't consider myself a children's show entertainer. I used to be some years ago, but I will talk about all that because these people are some of the best and the tops in their country or in their field then as well. Hey, Phil, glad that you're back from Michigan. Looks like that, and your whiskey on the rocks. Mine is a vodka martini as usual. So perhaps that I'll see you then at Abbott's this next year then, Phil, and we can you can enjoy your whiskey, and I'll have this in the real world over there then too. So glad that you were here. And so anyhow, that reminds me of Magic Mojitos. Yeah, Larry, that was a good time. Back, one of the best conventions that will never be repeated was that great convention that we had back in Havana, Cuba. Holy cow, was that cool. And so, Ted, hey, does this mean that you're offering a signed copy of the Masters of Deception that you're going to be offering? So is this something that somebody is going to need to do, and what do you suggest? So let's hear a little bit more about that. And speaking of which, we've got some other contests that are running on the Magic Word podcast, in which that you're going to be able to win a chance to get a couple of really cool books, some downloads and some ebooks, as well as some real things and some audible books, etc. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And so Ted says, yes, signed copy. That's kind of cool. So just give us more information. I'll post that as we go. I want to get our people in here so this way that we can kind of hear them talk rather than just me, because I hear enough about me all the time. Anyhow, and so Phil, yep, okay, that's a date. We'll see you then. Let's get the first person over here that I think we need to get this kicked off with the first video. I'd like to show a video that will give you some indication of what it is that's the qualifications of the guest that we're having then here this evening. So let me introduce our first person over here, and she is an amazing magician, and this video will tell you more about her, and also we'll talk later about the award that she just won for Children's Entertainer Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Magical Katrina!
Hi there, my name is Katrina, and I'm a professional magician. I'm an old-fashioned girl who likes old-timey things from days gone by, like wearing vintage clothing, rotary phones, Penn and Teller.
Wow, is that fantastic or what? And there is my friend, Miss Katrina Kroetch. How are you doing, Katrina? This is great to see you here tonight.
Great. I'm here in Tucson, Arizona on tour.
On tour. We're going to talk about that. That's amazing. But first of all, tell me what you're drinking. I've got a little martini. What have you got?
Oh, I'm drinking a favorite in Arizona, Baxt wine.
Frenzia. Okay, yeah.
It's
Give
on
me a
the
straw.
sweeter side because they have like a little graph that tells you
How to drink it? How to drink it?
Have I had a drink? Yeah, I'm pre-gaming, but I can pour some more.
Oh, no, that's great.
Would you like
Yeah.
some? Here, Scott. Drink. Open your mouth. I'm just kidding.
Very funny. Yeah, you can never have too much over there. And I see that you got the adult size glass. That's great.
I have friends I'm going to share it with.
That's great. All right, let's bring in our next guest over here. And this is someone that, hold on if I can get this. Here we go. That is someone else who has been one of my guests on the Magic Word podcast. And he is, these people are all totally amazing, but this will tell you a lot about him.
Whoa, it's going to be crazy. Watch this. I want to show you head on so you can see it.
What?
That's him waving around. Yeah, you can see him now. Ow! He boxed me right in the nose. But I can fix it. Look, we'll just put that in place. Put that in place. Don't move. I got a bed right here. See lots of pretty pictures on it. Let's see. Open. Wow! Everybody say the magic word jumbo jelly bean.
Jumbo jelly bean!
Beautiful.
What the? How did that happen?
Wow, is that pretty cool or what? And please welcome my friend, Danny Orleans. Hey, Danny.
Hey, Scott. Great to see you.
Hey, good seeing you. That is great little sizzle video right there. And of course, just talks about your Zoom show because I know so many other things you do, which is why I call you the Omni Magician. You do it all. You do it all very well. Speaking of that, what are you drinking there tonight as far as doing something well? You got anything?
Coca-Cola.
There you go. That's the man. You sound like, what is that? The way that I think Dan Garrett and David Ginn pronounce it. Coca-Cola or something like that.
Oh,
The
no,
way they do it.
from the north.
In Atlanta, exactly. Well, let's just complete this trio of guests I've got over here by bringing in our third and final guest then over here for the evening.
We know it doesn't matter how they try to tear us down. Caldwell Banker is the best. Thank you. Oh, now you like me. Thank you. Open your hands, somebody at one. One big one. Give it a big old applause. Stay there. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Love that bound a family together. Because he said, what you were was one big, happy family.
Hello, Magic.
How long have you been married for? 6 years. Oh, no wonder. All right, 6 years of marriage, that could dull anybody's senses. All right, so for you, I will do this. This is it, ladies and gentlemen, as State Farm Bank tells you all about how you can save money on your vehicle loans.
The vaudeville producers realized there was money to be made. The money.
Have on my show. Isn't that right, plate spinning guy?
Wow. Well, time to pour another martini. I've got started a little bit early over here. So let's welcome my next guest over there. Actually, he's a two-headed magician right there.
Actually, this young man is my 7.5-year-old son. His name is JT. Can you say hi, JT? That's him. My goal in life is that he should have such a happy childhood that he never has to grow up to do magic. Uh-huh.
And never grow old. That's right. Be a magician, as they say, that you can't do both.
All right. Okay. So, yes, that was my promo sizzle reel, and I'm grateful to you for having me on the show, Scott.
Well, I am just pleased as punch that's been spiked to have you and the rest of these guests here then as well. Speaking of which, that what kind of little beverage have you got there in that bottle?
This is water, and no one can ever prove otherwise. Just that simple.
I like your thinking, man. You're the best. This is great. Listen, I want to thank all of you guys a lot for being here. And that Danny, and he's right. It is Coca-Cola. That is the way that I guess that is supposed to be pronounced. So now we both know what it's supposed to be. So anyhow, yes, got a great lineup, and that I want to really get started with everybody. Peter Brown saying hello. Steve Mills, Dow Sanders was one of my guests in the past over there, past national president then as well. So glad that you guys are here. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Robert, 7.5 years of parenthood can also dull your senses. That's true.
Think my hair. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of which, my son right there, Sean Wells, who just tapped in, that he is he just had a birthday on October the 2nd, and he was, let me count it up now, he would be 42, I think. That's right, 42. Jeff Lane's here in town, says hi then also. Listen, thank you guys very much for being here, all of you as well. I know that you're coming from different parts over there, that Robert, you're in L.A., and that Danny over in Chicago, and Katrina, that you are normally out of L.A., but you've been kind of on tour, I think, then also. So you are, tell me about that. What was that, the emergency or accidental circus, or what was the deal then?
It's a nonprofit called Emergency Circus, and it's a really great cause. During the voting, they actually got a grant to do something called Cirque to Vote, where they went and did circus shows and entertained people in voting lines in like 10 different countries all over America, including like swing states like Georgia and Arizona and Oregon and stuff like that. And so it's a really cool, great nonprofit. They work a lot with Clowns Without Borders and go to other countries and do shows for Syrian refugees and normal, all the refugees, not specifically those, but also them. So anyway, they got like a second grant after Cirque to Vote. And we thought the country would need more mending, depending on who won, and it hasn't been that crazy, but we did some shows for refugees in Mexico, and we were going to do a tour, Arizona, New Mexico, actual Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, and do some shows for different places with the nonprofit. And then we broke down in Tucson. So now we're in Tucson for a week. And that is why I'm drinking Baxt wine in a shed.
And you said you've been there for like, what, 3 days or so?
A week now. Okay,
for a week. I think what's interesting is the fact you said that you were actually over there in, what is this, Master Head, or what's his name?
I'm in Special Head's
Head
in his backyard. Yeah, Special Head's a magician that got very famous on America's Got Talent doing suspensions. He has a suspension. I don't want to ruin this. There's a suspension right over there. There's like 3 of them. And actually I'm using Up, and Away right now, but I don't remember who makes that one, to put my computer on. But anyway, I'm in his like shed full of suspensions and levitations right now.
I remember, of course, whenever that he was on the America's Got Talent, and Howie Mandel just went crazy whenever he was like, or whatever.
I should tell you, we did a TikTok yesterday because he's like super Special Head. His name's Danny, is very TikTok famous. So we've done a couple TikToks where like I steal his bike and then he's like, whoa, and he like levitates after I remove the bike from under him. And so we've just been kind of, since we're stuck here, playing around and doing magic stuff. It's fun. And I have a virtual assembly show with a school tonight. I did it here yesterday in this shed. And so I'm doing it for a different age group with that school tonight. So that's kind of why I'm all set up with my mentalism envelope and stuff.
Yeah, that probably after you finish the second or third glass of that, you probably will be just about ready for some kids to do a show for them.
Yeah. Well, I also I have a little prop list taped here, so we're fine.
I was going to show, by the way, you'd sent some pictures of what actually your setup looks like right over there.
Yeah, that was yesterday's setup. Today's is a little bit better, but it's basically the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is the shed. So this way you kind of now when you're setting that up, that it looks like that again as we're doing that. I mean, you look good. You always look good, but I mean the fact that you're doing something over there then right now that's a little bit different, and you set up in a makeshift shed in some place in the middle of Tucson. That's just pretty incredible.
My entire virtual show, including a fold-up table and a ring light, because you always need a ring light, and everything fits in a checked bag. I can't carry it on, but it's a checked bag. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to bring in the other guys then also. I know that they've been doing some virtual shows. We just showed the video there a while ago of Danny, that you were doing virtual shows. I know that you do. Are you doing some live shows then, Danny, also? I mean, Robert said that you're not doing live shows, but Danny, are you complimenting your...
I did a bunch of live shows over the summer when it was warm and I could do them outside. But now I'm in Chicago where the weather's, 45 degrees or so. And so, no, I'm not doing them. And I'm not, I really haven't had a call for any indoor shows. But if I had a call, I think I would pass on them. Unless it was maybe in a convention center with, 50-foot high ceilings. But even then, not sure. Most of my work has actually come from pre-recorded videos that I'm making for corporations to promote their products and services. And I'm also doing some pre-recorded videos for schools, which are in Chicago. In Chicago, they're not allowed to use Zoom.
Wow. What? So, wait, what?
I know. To bring in somebody from the outside like me, not allowed. So I have been doing pre-recorded videos for schools instead. So that's been most of and that's Chicago, the city, that where it has to be pre-recorded. They get a better product, and it's fine. It's it's more work to do pre-recorded than a Zoom, of course, but that's been one source of income for me, and it's been a lot of fun. But that bit that you played, that was from months ago, the summer when I was doing a lot of Zoom shows over the summer for kids.
So really not doing the live shows or many of the Zoom shows right now. So is that right?
Well, I'm still doing Zoom shows. Oh yeah, but
not like okay.
I have one on Friday, one on Saturday. So a couple a week generally. It varies, but as I said, most of what I'm really focused on is that part of me, the omni magician you call me, that part of me that does work for corporations. That's what I'm really focused on now.
Because it's great that you actually have other types of skills, certainly. Where you do have all kinds of abilities to do the trade shows. Of course, trade shows are completely different. We talked about that a few weeks ago.
Right.
Whereas trade show magicians are going to be responsible really for bringing in a crowd, and obviously that we don't want crowds to congregate. Right. So it's a dilemma.
Scott, on my downtime, what I've been doing mostly over the past few months is developing all these products for Amaze Kids. We've been able to put things in full gear, and we've coming out with 3 products in 3 months, and we have another one coming out, next month. And that's been a great challenge and really fun. And the magic community has embraced things. So, can I show you any?
There have been a couple of quick things. Dan Garrett just asked, how is Jan doing, by the way?
Jan is great. She's hosting the Magic Castle show tomorrow night, or on Saturday night. Saturday night, and so she's doing great, and she's been hosting shows at the Chicago Magic Lounge virtual as well. So we're pretty busy household despite it all.
I do want to go in and talk about some of the things that you've been developing and some new tricks that are out there that I think that children's show entertainers could use. And I'm excited about what we're going to talk about because you and I kind of discussed this a little bit before, but Larry just asked this question. I think it's a valid one. Do you charge as much for a live show or a proportion? And what? Half, third, what?
I'll pass that to Robert because he's doing more of them than me.
What do you say, Robert?
Certainly I'm not charging as much as I would for live shows, but again, I have the commute of 15 feet. This is my office. I actually do my shows from my garage where I have curtains and lights and everything hung, so it looks great from the camera's view. From my view, I'm looking at a dusty old garage, but from the opposite view, it looks great. So yeah, people are desperate for entertainment. And if they want something, charge them for it. Don't give it away for free. Don't do it for little money. You have to make a living as much as they have to make a living. And
I like to ask the people, I like to say, are you employed right now? And they say, yes. Are you working from home? Yes. So am I.
Well, I just had someone who had contacted me today.
Did they get a salary cut because they, they're working from home? So it's difficult though, having said all that, there is certainly pressure pushing down on the magicians because of the reasons Robert just stated. And also because in theory, there is more competition, right? Because now they can get any Zoom magician from anywhere in the world, as long as they speak English, if the show's in the US. So,
I speak different languages. I've done shows in Japan and in Mexico because I speak Spanish, I speak Japanese.
Yeah. So, some magicians are flourishing. There's a few that are actually doing better than
I'm actually doing better personally. I get shows from across the country, and for me, I didn't lower my virtual rates. I just started for virtual charging what I used to charge, and then doubled my in-person rates. It's like now if I could maybe get sick and die, it's like movie theater popcorn prices. I'm like, it used to be this much, now it's twice that much, but you're in luck because my virtual show is the same as my old in-person show used to be. Pew, pew, pew.
Wow.
I don't say it like that. I obviously don't say it like that.
Not the pew, pew, pew. I like that idea. That's a wonderful way of approaching the marketing from the standpoint of saying, you're getting a great deal because this is what I used to charge. I'm now doubling on that.
I don't actually say that, but
yeah. No. I
wrote an article in Vanishing of tips to turn in-person requests into virtual bookings. And for one of the things I do is I'm like, hey, my costs are lower, like Robert said. I'm not having to drive anywhere, which I love. So, and I'm not buying things like masks and sanitizer and single-use props and doing all this stuff and less time. So you can pass the savings on to your client.
Right.
Well, also, though, weren't you doing some things on Patreon? So this way that you are supplementing the income by having people sponsor you?
Yeah, I probably make a couple thousand on Patreon and a couple thousand monthly in virtual shows. I think I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I have 3 or 4. I'm trying to do corporate Christmas shows, so I have a lot of those. Which is
live shows or virtual?
Oh, all virtual. I don't have any live shows at all, except for with this nonprofit emergency circus. And that's because it's a cause I believe in. And I also love traveling, which is probably not great in a pandemic, but in a van and being socially distanced from strangers and sticking to yourself and seeing the country has been really fun. I've been traveling a lot, living out of vans last few months, which is a weird... I'm 25, so I can do that.
But in this emergency world that you're doing then, are you wearing a face mask or are you just wearing a shield? Or are you not?
Yeah, we're 10 feet above everyone. In fact, and I'm excited to talk about this, I did a whole article that's coming out next month in Vanishing magazine, Paul Romani's magazine, about touring during the pandemic with a nonprofit that does circus shows. And some of the things we changed, I talk about. We used to do shows in front of the ambulance. It's like a big clown ambulance that's super brightly colored. And now we're doing shows on top of the ambulance, which means we had to change a lot of stuff. There's a lot more mentalism in my part of the show than there was before. And certain tricks, I don't know if you saw my Fool Us routine, certain tricks that need a table, I've had to rework so that I can do them standing up 10 feet above the audience and still have them be able to see what I'm doing. So we also have an acrobatic routine and a juggling routine, and that's like super scary to do on top of an ambulance. And so the irony of falling off of an ambulance and breaking my leg is not lost on me. But so now we just do the show on top of this really tall car, and we're very far from like the places. We also go to places where kids are already potted up. Like we go to homeless shelters and youth centers and orphanages. We went to like a refugee asylum camp. So we're going to places where people are already in like groups of 10 or more, and they're potted together this whole time. So we're not like making an excuse for people to gather when they shouldn't gather. And then we do it on the ambulance. So.
Well, if you happen to fall off the top of the ambulance, I mean, you just get back inside and they can jet you there quickly, I would think, to the hospital, right? That's what it's about.
Unless we're broken down in Arizona.
I guess that's true. You need to get another ambulance over there. Let me bring in Danny again for just a minute, because there were a few things then that you said, Danny, that you have been working on and developing then as well. And in fact, that what was that? I had a comment then from Dan Garrett that said he was proud to be associated with your Amaze Kids group then also. So
we're glad to have him aboard. He's a very creative guy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we've been working on a lot of different products, and I'll pick one up and do a little show and tell real quickly here. Scott Green, who's a great kids magician in Chicago, just released the Rocket book a few weeks ago. And this is a wonderful idea that combines topsy-turvy bottles with the coloring book principle. And you put those two together and you have this fabulous trick that's just so funny. He combines it with an actual topsy-turvy bottle. But the basic premise is that you show the book and all these rockets. And this book is about 12 inches by 12 inches. It's slightly oversized, but not too big that it won't fit in your case.
Yeah.
And there's some jokes in here, as you see as I'm flipping through. The Radio City Rockettes and Johnny Rockets. But some people don't like those jokes, so that's not a big deal. You just trim the pages and you'll fly right by those and nobody will see it. And then you turn the book over. Talking about how in outer space there's no gravity, so everything's always right side up, including the rocket. And you flip through, and the book is everything's still right side up. And this drives kids crazy.
That's cool.
It's completely different than a coloring book trick. You could do them both in the same show. It's a completely different effect for the kids. It isn't the page turning, the page changing, the colors appearing. It's now something was upside down that a minute ago that is right side up. But what's really great here is that you can turn it back right side up. And if you want, you can make them upside down.
Yeah.
Right? And
right.
But the really fun part is you go, wait a minute, will this work sideways? Let me check. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to show you. You won't believe it if I do. I can't believe it. And you hold it out for a minute and the kids are going crazy. And then finally you show them that even when the book is sideways, they're still right side up. So this is a fabulous trick that takes about 2 minutes to learn. And as I said, you can add a topsy-turvy bottle to it, as Scott does in the beginning and the end, to introduce this. And then as a closer, his topsy-turvy bottle changes, being kind of, anti-gravity. And so that's come out. And we developed this using Scott had a prototype that he was selling on his website. He worked with us, and we took about a year to make this. We worked with an illustrator. He used photographs, but we feel like these pictures, not only are they bigger, but they really stand out as illustrations more than the photographs. We really brightened it up with the backgrounds and such. So this was a great project. We went back and forth. We had them printed, and they finally came over across the Pacific to us, and they're less than $30 on amazekids.com. It's just a trick you'll use. Super easy to do.
I also like the idea is that he had used with the topsy-turvy bottles. That's a good ending for that too.
Right, yeah. So what he does is he starts with this topsy-turvy bottle and he's trying to get it to work, and he says he's going to make it turn upside down inside the tube, and it doesn't work. So he puts it aside, brings out the rocket book, does all of the stuff with the rocket book that I talked about, and then at the end he goes, wait a minute, if the rocket's turned upside down at the end, maybe and he picks up the bottle, he picks up the tube, and the bottle is inverted, and the kids go out of their mind. And what's so interesting is that for years, I've never put a topsy-turvy bottle in my show because I never felt that it really was a trick with an ending. You know, it didn't have a real clear ending that was a real kicker and something unexpected. But here, it works perfectly as a kicker ending to the rocket book. So Scott solved two problems at the same time. I mean, this is the best idea with the coloring book principle to come out since the coloring book came out, whenever it came out in the 60s when it was mass marketed by Fun Inc.
That's great. And obviously it involves a lot of the audience participation, and the kids are laughing and everybody has a great time, and tying those two together.
Yeah. And if you go to AmazeKids.com and watch the trailer, it has his entire routine in there, and you can see how the children react in a school situation.
I want to come back to you in just a minute, and we're going to talk about a couple of other products that are coming out then also. But kind of among the four of us over here. Yes, Katrina.
Can I pull the product too later?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Later.
Oh, later. Yes.
I just want to know if I can, because it seemed like you planned this.
Yeah, no problem. I think that's fine. I appreciate you guys being here, and we're also talking about ways of entertaining children and making them laugh and everything.
Why,
too.
RobertBaxt.com/shop also has many things. Okay, so yeah, all right. As long as we're plugging stuff.
Yeah, what have you got over there, Robert? You got something kind of funny too?
Man, I got all sorts of stuff. Again, I've been being so creative. I've come up with stuff that I got to show Danny because he could probably sell it and stuff. This isn't one of those things. Far enough back. Hold on, wait a minute. This is excellent. Look, this is where all my presents are coming from this year. My Christmas stockings, all my decorations, and of course, the Christmas wreath.
All out of that empty box.
All out of that empty box. Who would have thought? Okay. Again, just like all of you, since I haven't been doing as many shows, and I can't do all those wonderful routines that I'm famous for, the Miser's Dream, the Mouth Coil,
the linking ring. The linking ring routine.
I still do linking rings. I just do it as a silent routine without audience participation and stuff. So all those audience participation routines took up so much of my show. That's like 30 minutes of my show that's now gone. I have been sitting around my house coming up with all sorts of stuff for my shows that can be seen, but no one has to come close. And yeah, like Katrina said, lots more mentalism and stuff in my shows. You got to think of something. And when you think of something, oh, how strange. I just happen to know what you're thinking of. Yeah.
So you follow that around. I see. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Very good. Very good. There was something else that I wanted to bring Danny in over here for just a second again that you told me about, and I thought it was so cool. I went out and ordered them immediately. The Animinimals. This is really cool.
Animinimals. Yeah, we just released this yesterday, and this is a wonderful history. You know, in terms of there's a whole process in which we use to decide if we can release a product. You know, it isn't just like, oh, this is a great idea, let's release it. You know, things have to hit a lot of boxes have to be checked in order for a product to be released. You know, it has to have a good amount of degree of originality. You know, you have to know that it will appeal to magicians, large groups. We're going to manufacture 1,000 of these, you know, not 50 for our friends and supporters, but a really large quantity that'll be distributed worldwide to magic shops as well as sold directly from the website. We look very carefully at a product, you know, in terms of its flexibility. You know, are there many different routines that can be done with it? Because some magicians, you know, will be magicians perform in different situations, and magicians have different personalities and characters. So we want to make sure it's going to fit a lot of different situations and a lot of performers' personalities. And
Do you mind if I just take a moment and I want to show this video about the
great, yeah,
Animinimals?
Yeah, it's just a 1-minute video. Mhm.
Just so, yeah, you guys are going to love this. Hold.
Get ready to meet the smallest balloon animal in the world. Animinimals is the perfect trick for any age group. It doesn't matter if your audience is 3 years old or 90 years old. They'll all love Animinimals. I'm going to do something that's never been done before. I'm actually going to teach you how to make a balloon animal. You're going to take this balloon right here. Oh, Will, give me your hand. I want you to hold on to it nice and tight. Don't let it get away. You did it. Do you feel it? Animinimals is easy to do and incredibly fun to perform. I'm going to teach you my favorite handlings so you can perform it in any environment. In the package, you get 12 cute, colorful Animinimals. And we even give you the balloons, too. My name is Billy Damon, and this is Animinimals.
Wow. That is really cool. I saw that and it's like, I want that because I have used to use those things. I think that, Jeff had come out with, anyhow, that was with just the little pearls that you have 17 little beads.
Pearl thing, beads with the rubber band going through.
Yeah. And I carry those around for restaurants and cocktail parties and gave those away. But this, I think, beats that by 100%. That is really.
And they're completely different. It's a completely different product. And a lot of people don't understand it. They look at this and they they make an assumption that's incorrect. So what you're looking at here is a solid rubber molded silicone balloon animal dog.
So it's not twisted. It's actually made that way. They can't untwist it.
No, you can't untwist it. You can stretch it quite a bit without it breaking. If you pull too hard, you'll snap its neck off. But you can stretch it quite a bit, as you can see. And this actually, can be part of a routine. So the basic, does the video teach you how to twist your own to hand out?
No. You need to buy those. Those are ones that you can hand them out, but you're going to be buying, like what I did is you buy them in bulk, basically.
Right, Mike. Yeah, that's Michael. I know Michael. I see him at conventions all the time. Yeah, so these become great giveaways. If you're a balloon twister, especially if you're like me, if you're not a balloon twister, I can't even blow these up. I don't really twist balloons. And so for me, it's not something I do, but I can do this. Because you just palm this in your hand and you take a balloon, you stretch it out, and you say, I'm going to make the smallest balloon animal in the world. There, I inflated it as much as I need to, and you just pull the balloon in your hand and you let it flip around a bit like this, and you can get really close to kids and you go, oh, look, oh, there's some ears. It just popped out. Oh, look, it's beginning to form. Do you see it? Look, and then you just give it a stretch at the end and you just pull it out, as you go like that, and you got it. And they're all looking here at the creature, so you can just go south with this, put it in your pocket. Believe me, nobody's looking, and they all want to touch it. They want to see if they think, even adults, and this is hard to believe, even adults think this is an actual miniature balloon animal. They really do, because it looks so good. And it comes in all these colors, let me see, so they come, there's 12 of them in a pack. So you can experiment. You can see if it's something that fits you and your personality. And then, as you mentioned, we have them in bulk. If for professionals that want to give them away, we have them in bulk. And, you'll increase your tips once we get back to normal. It'll be a great way to increase tip.
I think it's a great idea for restaurant workers and everything then too.
Yep.
One of the things I kind of want to it's important that we note tonight, we have a good group of people here tonight and magicians who will appreciate knowing this. And that is that we've recently just lost Bev Bergeron, that you have heard. I had been notified this morning that Hal Myers had notified me about this with Vanish Magazine, and he had said apparently that he had a stroke just a few days ago, I guess a massive heart attack actually, and been lingering on, and then this morning had just passed. And so he was, of course, well known as Rebo the Clown, and I believe was Ronald McDonald then as well. He is someone who has given us so much for so many years. He's very creative, so many different ideas, and was the person who had written the column called Cutting Up Jackpots in the Linking Ring for a long time. And so it's just it's just a sad thing that we have another person that we're seeing passing after Walter Blaney. I had just received a video from him that was a eulogy to Walter, which we're going to be posting sometime soon. Speaking of Walter, that the idea is that we're going to be having some sort of a celebration of life ceremony that will be probably in the this coming summer at Abbott's Get Together at Colon Cemetery. So the plot has been purchased, and so when we release this video, we'll be in conjunction with the crowdfunding so that we can try to raise some money for Walter's headstone that we have planned. That's going to be there at Colon Cemetery. So that'll be coming out then soon with some other videos then also. Some comments over there then, Robert?
I have the tombstone maker. I buried a magician there 2 years ago in the Colon Cemetery, and I found a wonderful tombstone maker. Please, I will, when this is all over, I'll get you their information. I got him right behind Tom Mullica because I knew everyone would visit Tom Mullica so they would see this stone. For the moment, it's the nicest stone in the cemetery. It's for a magician named Charles Windley.
Charles, yeah.
I had it laser engraved with one of his old posters on the tombstone that says appearing nightly. And at the bottom of his tombstone, it says, P.S. You picked the 3 of clubs. And I thought that was very nice that everyone who goes through the Colon Cemetery can now force a card on someone and do a card revelation.
He took my idea. That was what I was going to have. I was going to have my card, 8 of diamonds, on the back of my tombstone over there.
Oh, feel free. Just they can do it twice, you know.
Yeah, but my idea then also is I want to have a tombstone planned with the King and the Queen of Hearts, so that my wife's ashes can be there as mine as well, and then say Scotty out. But anyhow, Robert, did you know Bev pretty well or at all? Much?
I did absolutely know Bev. Bev knew everything. Just ask him. He would have told you. Bev sat behind Methuselah in 3rd grade, it sometimes felt like, and babysat the infant Jesus and did close-up magic at Abraham Lincoln's bar mitzvah. So there wasn't anything that Bev didn't know about and have an opinion about. And I listened closely to what he had to say because he'd been around forever and he knew from personal experience. He, all those years in the Horseshoe Review in Disney World in Florida and stuff. That was great. And of course, working for Mark Wilson, Rebo the Clown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. I didn't know about it till just now when you told us that he passed away.
Yeah, it is. It's difficult. And so, yeah.
Should we do a toast? Oh.
Yep. Here's to Bev. Yeah, that I think that we should. Thank you very much for all of the good times and the laughter that you've given us, then, Bev. This has been just you've had a wonderful ride, and you have shared so much with so many people and left a legacy of laughter. And so tonight is about make them laugh, and each of you people in your own ways have contributed to continuing his legacy by making people laugh. So here's to you, and here's to Bev.
To Bev.
Bev, everybody.
To Bev a beverage.
Absolutely. Another sad time. Yeah, that of course that we just had Walter passing and everything. That has just been this year in 2020 has not been good for any of us, and particularly towards the end of the year I have a Magician's Valhalla in which that I post at the end of the Magic Year on my Magic Word podcast the names of magicians who I know or people who have been on my podcast or friends of mine who have passed during this year. And already I think we've doubled the number of people who have passed in 2020 than any year in the past. And I don't know if it's just I'm getting older or it's just been a bad year and everybody's depressed and that they're just kind of deciding to let it go or whatever. But
I'm feeling good. I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm sticking around.
Good for you. Good. I'm glad that you are well. Well, let's get back here for just a minute then also that I want to talk then for just a second. Then you got something else kind of cool, Danny. I mean, this is not really just all a promo to advertise your products, but the fact is that these are very funny things I think that magicians and particularly kids magicians can do that are fairly easy and cause just immense laughter, just an explosion of laughter with kids. Right. And so when we're ready to get back into the real world again, so if you would just give us an idea, and give us your next cool idea.
It isn't my idea. This idea was this idea was given to me by or given to Amaze Kids by Christopher Barnes, who's known as Christopher T. Magician. The T stands for taco, and he's currently one of the magicians du jour in terms of in the kids' magic world, coming up with tons of material. He's written 2 or 3 books now and has a set of DVDs live from the living room. He's a great kids magician, especially for if you do magic for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds. That sweet spot of the youngest children you can get. That's his bailiwick. That's his area of expertise, and you should be checking out his book called Just for Fun. And in Just for Fun, there is an idea that is something he made. He went to the toy store and he bought some plush. He bought a zebra and he bought a giraffe, and he cut them each of them in half, and he sewed them together. And he that's what it looks like. And he uses this idea. If you're familiar with the trick split deck, jumbo split deck, where you force 2 cards like an ace of clubs and a jack of spades on somebody, and then at the end you have a giant card that's half of one and half of the other as a kind of mismade prediction. That's essentially what his idea here. But he created an idea that makes kids and adults, both of them, laugh out loud over and over and over again. And this is an old idea that he's made new. If you remember, and you've certainly seen this done, I don't remember the name of the person who invented this idea, but you ask questions to 2 people in the audience. It used to be a man and a woman, and the questions would be randomly picked out of a forcing bag, and the man would get all the hard questions, and the woman would get all the easy questions. And after a while, it just got hysterical because it seemed coincidental that the man got the questions that nobody knew.
You say like, what is ice made from? Water, and then the other person.
Those were the easy questions.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So it was a very funny routine. But imagine doing it for a family audience. Instead of just getting 2 people up, everybody is answering. So what he's done is he created this idea where the routine starts off with, I have these animal cards here.
Right. You say like, what is ice made from? Water, and then the other person.
Those were the easy questions.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So it was a very funny routine. But imagine doing it for a family audience. Instead of just getting 2 people up, everybody is answering. So what he's done is he created this idea where the routine starts off with, I have these animal cards here.
So it looks like Katrina, you got that already, huh? Water, and then the other person.
Those were the easy questions.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So it was a very funny routine. But imagine.
Wait a minute. I'm starting to hear a lot of echo right here. It's like a real delay. Do you hear that? I don't know what's going on there. Okay.
I'm not sure. There was a very strange delay.
Okay. Yeah. I think we're back to good.
So you show these animal cards and you start by saying, okay, it's kids versus adults. And we'll have the adults go first. Adults, what sound does this animal make? And the adults all go, arf, arf, arf. And then you say, kids, it's your turn. What sound does a starfish make? And of course, they got nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, 1-0 adults. How about a bee, adults? Buzz, buzz, buzz. And kids, how about a butterfly? So this goes on and on. And it's very funny. And the kids are laughing. The adults are laughing. Or you can do it the other way, right? The kids get it right and the adults get it wrong. That's up to you. Or you can make it close where it's, you're forcing it. So you're controlling who gets it right. And then you move on to the rest of the routine where you force 2 cards and you force these 2, the zebra and the giraffe. And you say, okay, if one of these, whichever one of these is in a bag, you guys are the winner. And he goes over to this bag. I will move it closer. He looks inside and he slowly reveals the animal. And he'll say, it's a tie. But it has a kicker ending because he looks at this and he suddenly realizes if these are the 2 heads, where are the tails? Or if you prefer, where are the butts? Or where are the tushies? And he reaches inside and takes out this. And this is hysterical. And again, when we made this because depending upon your personality, if you wanted to, you could sniff it and make an ew face, if you're performing at a kid's birthday party for little kids. That might, and that's your character. Maybe you do that. Maybe you call them butts. Maybe you call them tushies. Maybe you call them behinds, bottoms, whatever. Kids are very caught up in all that, as you know, if you perform for kids. So it's just a great ending and a very full routine. So and this went through about a 2-year process in development. We were going to make him pack flat by making this an inflatable, like a little toy that you'd blow up. But we ended up going with the plush, and I'm so glad we did because they're just beautiful and they have great appeal. And I've done this a couple times live because I had an early version several months ago, and I've done it a bunch live. And kids want their photograph taken with it, and it's just a great piece. I think it's a brand new classic, actually. So
very clever.
Yep, very clever. Yep.
I wanted to ask you, Robert, you said that you had done just a whole lot of shows for children because you were saying that as far as doing kid shows, I mean, there's a lot of people in Los Angeles and they all need kid shows and that you're the guy.
Well, here's the deal. In Los Angeles, school has only been done through Zoom. So parents have been stuck with their kids at home. Kids who are sitting all day in front of their computer screens, kind of the way we are, except they don't have this magical podcast with Scott Wells to keep them amused. So to break up the Zoom fatigue here in Los Angeles over the summer and up until a month ago, it was still warm here, I was doing many, many outdoor shows. Now, I was taking every precaution because I have a wife and a child and I want them to be safe and I want to be safe. It is clear that when people laugh and go, wow, and ooh, and ah, which happens a lot during my shows, that aerosols. So I wear a mask, I wear a face shield, and I insisted that everybody wear masks. And if they said, oh, no, we're going to be eating, some of them will have their masks off and went, I can't do it. And they go, no, it's okay. We're outside. You're more than 6 feet away. I go, no, I'm afraid not. Haven't you ever been on the beach and you're way on the boardwalk 300 feet away, but suddenly the wind blows and you can feel the spray of the water on you? You're well more than 6 feet from that ocean, but some of it still reached you. If everyone's not wearing masks, I'm not doing it. Fortunately, everyone was in agreement for many, many of these shows. However, sometimes they go, well, no, the waiters are going to be there. They don't mind that we don't have our masks on. And I would go to them. The waiters are only there for a moment. They put down your plate. They go away. I'm standing there for 45 minutes and everyone's facing me head on with all their laughter and oohs and ahs and wows facing my direction. So I was laying out hula hoops on the grass to keep people separated. I had a piece of rope, very thick rope, very colorful, that everyone should know that's their side. This side is lava. Don't come on it. But still, you get occasionally that 2-year-old who just kind of toddles towards you. And I'm like an old movie with a lady with a mouse coming towards her. Eek, get it away. Because normally I would pick up the 2-year-old and move him. But I'm like, I don't want to get close. I don't know where that 2-year-old has been and stuff. So yeah, In the past month, though, things have gotten here in Los Angeles, where I am, a little bit more grim. So I keep getting calls, and people keep insisting, "No, we'll pay money. We'll." And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to do a live show outdoors. Definitely won't do indoor shows. People have been asking for those." And I go, "What are you, nuts?" As a matter of fact, one of them actually said, "Oh, no, we're not going to wear masks. We're more worried about people's mental health." And I went, "Are
What?
you mental?" I guess I said to myself, I didn't say it out loud. I said, "Mental? You're more worried about their mental health? What if they come down with COVID? How much mental stress will you have?" And again, this is just me. To the client, I say, "Okay, no problem. Think of me when this is all over for next time." But in my head, I'm going, "Eee."
Well, you're right. There are things in which that we need to determine: do we really want to do these shows or not? And this is Christmas time, and I've been getting calls and emails, and it's like, I really want to. I last week just turned 69 years old. I know I look like I'm 70.
You look great. Stop. I had no idea. I thought you were a decade younger than that.
Well, thank you.
Daddy, you look old. But yeah, Scott, you look great.
That's another gig I've got. I'm a virtual Santa Claus right now, actually.
Oh, great.
So I've got a different background that I use for that. Anyhow, the point, and then thanks to PJ Compagna, who's on here tonight then too, and a friend of everybody's. Anyhow, that I have trying to, as much as I'd like to do these shows, and everybody else would too, I know that they would, that it's difficult to say no to a paid gig, kind of a thing then right now too. By the way, that I was going to ask then Katrina, that someone said, "What you got up your sleeve? What have you been doing over there then recently?" Surely that you've been doing some other kind of stuff and too, obviously.
Yeah. Hey guys, if you like magic tricks that involve pictures of white cards with animals on them, like Danny is, boy, do I have something new and exciting.
Tell me, what is it?
I am releasing this with Abstract Effects in the next few months. No, hasn't come out yet. We don't have this actually as a product yet, but there will be many of them. This is something that I've had great success with in my virtual shows. If you guys saw me on Fool Us, which if you haven't, you can Google it. Just Fool Us, Magical Katrina. Also, yeah, I had a burrito, but I'm not selling burritos, so I'm not going to tell you about that, although it was delicious. Okay. Yes, tacos are good. Nice, Bill. Okay, so pictures of animals. I've been doing this in my virtual show for children. I did it on Fool Us with pictures of men. And basically, at its core, it's an out of this world. You have anyone in the audience. It's a mentalism trick where no one has to touch anything, which is really cool about it for virtual shows. And I have them separate them into two piles of what animals are better, what animals they think I should have as a pet. And basically I do that, and then at the end it's a totally free choice prediction. Whatever animal they choose has a green check mark on it, and all the other ones have X's on them. So it ends with a totally free choice. There's no force, and we're selling two different versions of this. One is going to be pets, and one is going to be more like adult-centric, like maybe places or things. We're not going to do pictures of men because, unfortunately, I feel like this is going to sound kind of sexist. For every 500 male magicians that buy stuff, there's going to be 2 females. So probably not going to do like a female version. We'll do like a generic everyone can do it version.
Where can they buy that?
And animals for kids.
No, where can they buy that? Where's it available?
It's going to be Abstract Effects, Murphy's Magic, basically all the other brothers. I'm partnering with the other brothers to do it.
But do you have a website of your own where people can go and buy it from you?
Yeah, buy it from me directly. That's better for me. Even though
what is your website? What's your website?
It's going to be magicalkatrina.com/shop. Yeah, and the great thing is you can make it to anything. Like if you do a lot of tech companies, you can make it be tech companies. Basically, you can have it be a multiple choice with a free choice at the end, out of this world with a free choice at the end with anything. It doesn't have to be pets. We're going to provide the steps that you can make these cards. There's a lot of trial and error I did with different types of products, working and not working, to figure out exactly what works to make this happen. And we're going to teach you how to do it so you can personalize it to any corporate client you have, any birthday party, anything. You can make it work for your character, and it's entirely personalized, free choice. It's going to be cool. If you're really into pictures of animals, you should buy me and Danny's product.
Yeah, and so if I got that, so that's the right email right there, right? The website, the URL.
Katrina.com/shop. It's going to be great. It's coming out February. We're going to make thousands of them, so it's going to take some time because we really want to get it right. But if you're curious about how the trick works or what it looks like, you can watch it on Fool Us. Yay, more pictures of animals. What do you got, Robert Bax?
No, I don't have a trick with them. I just felt there was a theme going on. My animal cards, okay? So yeah, it was just I was just having to have these lying around next to me. You never know, there might be an animal picture theme going on.
It sounds like it. Yes, that's right. Yeah, I got an animal theme going on there as well. Yeah, Dan just reviewed a couple of abstract effects over there for MUM then as well. Well, that was great.
Well, please review mine and say nice things, or don't if it's bad things.
Yeah. If you like the show, my name is Scott Wells. If you didn't, it was David Copperfield, right?
That's what I always say. I call clients. I'm like, "Did you enjoy it? Oh, you did? I have a Yelp." Like, "Oh, you didn't? I don't have a Yelp."
That's good. That's good. Listen, thank you guys so very much. I appreciate everybody actually being on here then this evening as we start to kind of wrap up on our happy hour. It's kind of coming to a conclusion. I hear the bartender kind of calling for last drinks over here then as well. And so I'm going to need to start to shake this up. Okay, what do you got there, Robert? What are you pushing?
Just everyone's pushing products today. I just happen to have some of my products. This is a wonderful lie detector routine. It's one of the greatest routines in the world. Well, sort of a good routine. It's a routine.
Wait a minute.
Yes?
Right here at my
yes, we have one. Right there.
At my arm's length. Right here. Would you believe that I've got this that I've had that's right there that I do use? I've used this before when I was working in Vegas, and I was working with I was an MC for a week long kind of a thing. Anyhow, yes, you got some brilliant ideas. Brilliant ideas.
Very kind. However, those lanterns are one of a kind and no longer made. So there's a much less inexpensive version. But the best part about this is it comes with a 23-page PDF file with all the questions to ask for any sort of lie detector routine and all sorts of different lie detectors you can make, and a special gimmick that will make anything make funny noises so you can make it into a lie detector. All right, that's my last plug of the night.
Okay, well, that was good. Yes, go ahead.
I also say I won at the PCAM convention, Magician of the Year, with this trick.
Okay, no, there are so many things that I wanted to get around to that we never did get a chance to, and that was one of the things I'm sorry that I just kind of alluded to.
Stay longer. I mean, I don't have a show for 30 minutes if you want to not be constantly trying to plug products at people. Like, we could give them like tips and like help them instead of.
I have never plugged this many things. I've never plugged anything during this past 29 weeks, and this has just kind of been a commercial message over here. But I hope everybody's been enjoying it.
Wait, I'm not muted.
Yeah. So anyhow, you had just won the PCAM virtual convention for the Children's Entertainer of the Year. Is that correct?
Yeah. Hey, do you guys want to meet my friend Special Head? He has a video with like 42 million views on America's Got Talent doing magic.
I thought he was bald.
Unrelated.
I can grow hair.
You can grow hair. On television, on America's Got Talent, you were bald.
Yeah. I mean, I use COVID as an opportunity to say I'm not going to conform to my character because I don't have gigs very much. but also I was like, I'm going to do this solace until we find a cure for COVID. I'm going to not cut my hair. And maybe I'll look like Jesus at the end of it, you know?
Well, hopefully that you're going to get a buzz cut real quick. I hope we get out of this real soon and get back to the real world.
Yeah, totally.
Sorry, unrelated. The plugs were all great. Especially love animal cards. Anyway, yeah, sorry. Yes, I won a thing.
So how many people were at the convention?
A great week for me.
So how many people were at the convention?
Like 100 at a time, I want to say. I'm sure many people watched it later, and it was that kind of thing. But yeah, and there was, I will say I won. I'm very proud that I won. There wasn't that much competition. I think, compared to an actual in-person thing. And it's similar to when I won Abercorndabra, the virtual magic contest at a convention in May.
Was that for children's children's entertainer as well?
No, that was just the entire convention.
That's Steve Daly.
Flexing.
Yeah, Steve Daly. Yeah, Steve Daly.
I actually did Matrix card. I didn't do anything for kids. I just entered in kids one this year because I thought, I wanted to do these because I'm coming out with them. So I thought I should do something with them that other magicians see so they can think, oh, it's not just about dating. It's a very useful trick. So yeah. And it's been really doing well in my kids show because what I do is I have all the kids, I'm like, tell me yes or no, and I'll pick one kid to be the judge. But you know how kids are. If you ask one kid to shout something, all the other ones are going to be like, yes, have a unicorn. And they're going to like freak out. And I have all these little jokes like for the adults. Like I'll get to my pony and I'll be like, should I have a pony? And if the kid says yes, I'll say, oh yeah, that'll be great in my studio apartment. He can hang out in the bathtub. And like the parents always laugh at that. I'll be like, oh, I could be like the next Tiger King. And just jokes for the adults thrown in, and then tons of interaction from the kids because they're all really passionate about everything. They're like, get a unicorn or don't. And so it has many levels to it. And anyway, I'm not trying to sell this. I mean, I am, but I'm sorry.
That's okay. We've had a good opportunity to push a lot of different ideas, which I think were all good. Everybody seemed to be enjoying them. That certainly said, yeah, all worthwhile plugs over there then too. So it's been great. And so anyhow, thank you guys very much again for being here. A couple of things that I just kind of wanted to talk about as well, as far as some housekeeping things, because this is a lot about this is really a compliment to the Magic Word podcast. And so we have the weekly podcast, and just today we came out with one that had Stuart McDonald. So if you've not had a chance to listen to this one, Stuart has a lot of really good information to talk about, where he's worked on college circuit, and he had gone from the corporate 9-to-5 job to doing this, and then also doing haunted houses, and then competing in contests all over the world, and just being tremendous. I mean, he's just been an amazing performer, and he's now got a new persona called Richard Preston. So that we were talking about doing virtual shows, and this is somebody that I would recommend that you go and see, because I like the concept where he was someone who was cryogenically frozen in time in the 1960s, because he was considered an important figure in the most amazing magicians. And so as a result, that they were going to freeze him and then thaw him out in Mars later to entertain people on Mars. Well, as it happened, they feel like we need him right now, so they thawed him out. So he's kind of like Austin Powers a little bit. Very funny. Great concept. So anyhow, we had that on then today. Also, that today is the last day for an opportunity to sign up. I want to mention that you're going to get a chance then to win a copy of this book, No Ordinary Magic, which is a book by Eileen McFalls, and that she's got. It's a great book, and in the middle over here that there are some photos then as well of her and Cellini. This is about her travels with Jim Cellini, who was the late great street magician. And it's a very interesting read, very good. And so we've been running this for a week. That's going to run for another week. If you go and sign up at themagicwordpodcast.com, gives you a chance then to win a hard copy of this, available to U.S. residents, unless if you live overseas. If so, then you agree to pay the postage, then you can do that too. And I'll give you a sneak preview. This is kind of cool. Next week, that we are going to another author of the Eli Marks series, Mr. John Gaspard, who has been a guest of ours in the past. And I'm a consultant for his books on the magic side of this. This is his, I believe, 7th book. And he's going to have 2 or 3 of these books available in an ebook form that we're going to be giving away, that is available for anybody anywhere in the world. So this is one that he had just sent me today. That's a hard copy. We'll join my thing back over there then too. And so this is a great book. I really enjoyed it. If you have not heard the Eli Marks series, I know that we've got Harriet Jacobson's on here, and she's been listening to that on some of the audibles. So this is going to be available in an ebook form that we're going to be having as a contest to give away coming soon. And I just before I came on this podcast had gotten a text or an email from our buddy Charlie Randall with H&R Magic Books, and they've just completed, I think he said, number 8 with the Nick Trost series, and so we'll have about a half dozen of these hard copy books to give away then too. So Christmas is a-coming, and the geese are getting fat. Please to put a penny in the poor man's hat. That'd be the Magic Word Podcast. Please consider giving us some sort of a donation or a pledge. If you have the financial means available to help us, that'd be great to keep this podcast going. That this is, you guys are great. We have a lot of friends of the Magic Word who have helped us over the past years to keep this podcast going. And that, Harriet Jacobson there, fabulous book. She's been listening to the Eli Marks series. So I highly recommend that. If you go in John Gaspard, Gaspard, and so you can go and look that up. He is just really great. Got a lot of things going on. One thing, as we were talking during this, I just got a text from Ken Scott. Ken was going to be one of our guests for next week, and something came up in which he has a paid show that's coming. Of course, it's the holidays, it's Christmas time, and so he just got something that is going to prevent him from actually being a guest on next week's show. So when you see the end credits and we show him as being one of the Scotts who are going to be on the show, I'm going to have to replace him with another person named Scott, perhaps, in order to get him on the show. But I'm not sure whether or not that I'm going to be able to do that, but Ken's not going to be somebody who's going to be on next week. But we'll have somebody sure, and I will get that plugged in, and you'll hear about that then soon. So as we start to wrap up, I just want to thank everybody who has been here then tonight. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, then Robert. You guys are such good friends and so wonderful for taking the time that you have to share these ideas with the magic community, to let people know about some new things that are coming out. And also that Special Head, thank you very much for sticking your head back in there.
Very special.
I feel like we have a guest star who has come in over here from America's Got Talent. That's
Yeah.
This is great.
He knew your thing.
Yay.
He loves your
That's right.
Yay.
Thank you very much. And also that, Robert, you're a funny guy. I love you, man. And that, let me just say, if you guys have not gone back into the archives to hear any of some of the last podcasts, I think that you need to go back and listen to the one I had with Robert Baxt. That was one of the most downloaded episodes ever. And that it was very special. And what was kind of interesting is that it was taken during a time in which that we were actually at the TAOM convention, I believe in Austin, that Trixie Bond was the president then at that time. And that whenever that I did, that I was just wanting to get a few minutes, and then one thing led to another. And we stayed so long that I remember that the fella was actually, the guy was vacuuming the carpet. You can hear them kind of in the background over there.
You got me just as I walked off stage. I was still in my show clothes. I was like still high on adrenaline and stuff. And you asked me a couple of questions, and I just kept talking.
Boy, you did. And I think that was... it was so great. That was one of my favorites also. It's in the top 500 of my podcasts. So no, it's really my top 20, maybe top 10. I really thought that was really a great one. I really enjoyed it. It was really good. And so I thank you again very much. And that, Robert, yep, man, do we have history? What Dan Garrett had said then as well. So I think that's about a wrap here then for this evening. I thank you guys again for being here. And I know that we've got other places to go and things to do. And Katrina, you've got another show. And I believe, Danny, you have something that's kind of going on. And that sounds like, Robert, you're probably going to go create something, another funny.
I'm going to have dinner with my family. It's coming up on 7 o'clock here. Yeah.
Well, say hello to Yumi. It's great to see you then again, my friend. And so what's that Special Head's got over there? Some peanuts?
We're muted. I muted because he's on the phone. And
okay. Gotcha.
A handful of pine corn. I'm sorry.
Okay.
He's like a weird artist. I don't know.
Sorry,
I'm sorry, guys.
That's okay. So till next week, I thank you guys very much. Thanks, Katrina. Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Robert. And so until next time, join us on the magicwordpodcast.com.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
You're welcome. This is
Everyone stay safe and healthy. Wear a mask.
Stay safe, everybody.
Yeah, it's funny.
Scotty out.